It was the day when we went to a high-end French restaurant with 7 other moms. I have a reservation under the name Harris for 6 people. Emma, the leader of the moms, stated firmly. Then she looked at me with a malicious grin and said, "Thank you for reserving the seats for us. I've updated the number of people, so don't worry. You're not one of us. You can leave now." The other moms chuckled. "I see. Enjoy your time." Saying that, I distanced myself from the elite mom group. Shortly after, a waiter approached me to chat, leaving the elite moms pale-faced. "My name is Amelia Wilson. I'm a 42-year-old housewife. I live a modest but peaceful life in a quiet residential area with my same-aged husband and 17-year-old daughter. My husband, Jake, despite his demanding job, always ensures we have quality family time. He's the perfect husband. My daughter Margaret has been doing well in her studies and got admitted to a university through school recommendation. As it's her last year of high school, she's busy creating memories with friends. Finally, my child-rearing days were starting to wind down, allowing me more time with friends. One evening, my phone beeped with a rare notification from a WhatsApp group chat. It was a group that hadn't been active for nearly 5 years. Since our children are graduating next March, I thought we should have a party. The message was from Emma, the leading mom. Soon after, other members sent stamps of agreement, like understood and looking forward. I just watched the conversation without responding. The venue will be the renowned high-end French Bistro Course. Amelia, you can be in charge this time, right? I haven't met these people privately for over 5 years. Before I could reply, the other moms unanimously agreed. Everyone's on board. Amelia, please handle it. It seems I was chosen as the organizer this time. Maybe it's time for me to settle things. I murmured to myself, picking up my phone. This all started about 10 years ago. We moved to this town due to my husband's job transfer. My daughter, Margaret, was in the 2nd grade of elementary school at the time. We had to choose a school for her. We ended up choosing a private affiliated elementary school closest to our home. After completing her enrollment procedures and ensuring she was settled in her class, I was walking alone inside the school. I then noticed a woman, who looked like a noble, talking with several teachers. It was more of her expressing her opinions, and the teachers seemed troubled by it. Passing by that spot was awkward, but taking a detour would be a long way around. So, I reluctantly tried to sneak past them unnoticed. Just as I was passing by, their conversation seemed to have just ended, and, with bad timing, I was addressed by the elegant lady. "Oh, you're a new face. Which student's parent are you?" "Ah, hello. My daughter, Margaret, just transferred into 2nd grade today." The lady looked me up and down, as if sizing me up, and with curious eyes, she inquired, "It's unusual for someone to transfer midterm to our school. Is there a particular reason?" I felt a pang of unease. Who on earth could she be? She was dressed too formally for a parent, yet seemed too unreserved towards other parents to be a teacher. "Excuse me, but are you a teacher at this school?" She replied. "Oh my, I forgot to introduce myself. It's been years since I've met someone who doesn't know me. I'm a parent just like you. Our kids seem to be in the same grade. I'm Emma, the mother of Samantha." To my surprise, she too was a parent. When I looked around, the teachers who were being scolded earlier had disappeared. I intuitively felt that perhaps she might be one of those so-called monster parents, and it would be better not to get too involved. This was my first encounter with Emma. I was working at the time and thought I wouldn't have to interact with her much. However, to my bad luck, Emma's daughter and mine were in the same class, so we ended up meeting during events. For some reason, I ended up joining Emma's circle of elite mom friends. I really didn't want to be involved, but I felt that if the parents fell out, it would affect our children. So, for Margaret's sake, I decided to associate with Emma and the others to a minimum extent. However, I felt completely isolated within the group, as their world seemed so different from mine. Many times, I thought of leaving the group, but they seemed interested in my outside world stories and often used them to one-up each other. It wasn't a pleasant experience, but I endured it for Margaret's sake. However, a minor incident caused a rift between me and the mom group. When our daughters were in 6th grade, I was called by the class teacher. Being summoned by the teacher usually implies something bad, so I was nervous. Though I believed my daughter couldn't have done anything wrong, I went to school with anxiety. I was led to the reception room, where the principal, vice principal, class teacher, and some prominent members were present. Thank you for coming on such short notice, despite your busy schedule. Did my daughter do something? No, not at all. Seeing my anxious look, the teachers laughed. The class teacher began. Sorry for startling you. We've called you today because we have a request for you. To summarize the school's request, they wanted me to plan the itinerary for this year's school trip. Every year, the destination for the school trip was the same, and there had been talk for a while about whether there were any new ideas. Apparently, Margaret presented in school that my profession was related to travel, and it seemed I was chosen for the task. While it was a great opportunity, I couldn't decide on my own. So, I decided to survey the students to determine the destination based on the budget and their preferences. As a result, Miami was chosen. In addition to my main job, I was frequently visiting the school to finalize the school trip plan. One day, I bumped into Emma at school. Hey Amelia, I just heard from the teachers. Is it true that you planned this school trip? Rather than saying I planned it, I took a survey from the students. The destination with the most votes was Miami, and it fit within the budget. It's based on the students' wishes, not my sole decision. I can't believe it. You know my daughter goes to a modeling academy, right? The UV rays in Miami in July are too strong. She'll get sunburned. Why would someone like you get to decide the destination for the school trip? Just because you work part-time at a travel agency doesn't mean you should get carried away. I was so shocked by her sudden outburst that I was at a loss for words. Before I realized, other moms from the celebrity mom group were behind Emma, looking at me with cold eyes. As I was trying to think of how to explain the situation, the teacher in charge and the deputy head teacher noticed the commotion and explained the situation to everyone. I'll hear more about this in the principal's office. And with that, Emma left with the deputy head teacher and the teacher in charge, leaving the other moms still giving me cold glares. Fortunately, I received a call from my workplace at that moment, allowing me to escape the situation. It seemed that the principal, deputy head teacher, and the teacher in charge managed to calm Emma down, and the students were able to go on their school trip without any issues. According to Margaret, Emma's daughter, Samantha, seemed to really enjoy Miami and was having the most fun. I hoped that seeing her daughter so happy would alleviate some of Emma's anger. And as expected, on the night the students returned from the trip, Emma posted on the WhatsApp group chat, "Thank you, Amelia, for planning such a wonderful trip for the children. I'm sorry for being so harsh on you." After that, other moms started posting their gratitude towards me. I remembered feeling relieved that they had finally come around. Later on, when our kids were about to move on to middle school, Emma posted on the group WhatsApp chat, suggesting a celebration trip with the kids. That sounds great. How about going to USH? We can rent a microbus. Everyone began to agree one after the other. Amelia, are you listening? It's your turn. Oh, yes, I am. USH sounds good. Then please handle the arrangements. You enjoy doing this kind of stuff, right? Wait, am I doing this alone? Can someone help me? Of course you're handling it alone. You even planned the school trip. You should be able to handle this easily. That time, it wasn't just me. My company was requested by the school, and the employees made the arrangements. I didn't do it alone. No one addressed my explanation, and Emma ended the chat saying, "Okay, please take care of it." With the travel date just 2 weeks away and considering it was spring vacation season, hotels were getting booked quickly. I asked the group for help again, but everyone just read my messages without replying, and every day, Emma would message asking for updates. While I wanted to cancel the trip altogether, I wasn't sure how the moms would react, and more importantly, my daughter was really looking forward to going to USH. So, even though I didn't want to use my company's resources for personal use, I had no choice and managed to make the arrangements. One thing that bothered me was that Emma insisted that the reservation be made under her name. Moreover, I was asked to pay up front and collect the money on the day of the trip. And thus, the unforgettable trip day arrived. On the day of the trip, when I arrived at the meeting place with my daughter, all the other members were already there. In a rush, I ran toward the bus, which seemed about to leave as it was already loaded with passengers. Why are there always people who gather right on the brink of time, now assembling a whole 30 minutes before the set time? I had a bad feeling. As I hurriedly tried to board the bus, Emma blocked the entrance, pointing at a sign on the bus and said, "Can't you see this?" The sign indicated a capacity of 15 people. The bus I had arranged was supposed to be a minibus with a 20-person capacity. This time, our group consisted of 7 moms and 7 kids, totaling 14 people. Considering the long journey from Seattle, I had arranged for 2 drivers. Thus, with 16 people in total, a bus with a capacity of 15 wouldn't suffice. If only you had taken your time and come closer to the meeting time, you wouldn't have gotten hurt. I moved the assembly time earlier without telling you because I didn't want to hurt you. You seem to have misunderstood something. Excuse me, what's going on? Where are our seats? Laughter could be heard from inside the bus. Looks like you really did misunderstand. Why did you think you and your group were going with us? This trip is just for the moms and kids. Were you even friends with us? But you asked me to make arrangements on the WhatsApp group chat, didn't you? Yes, we asked, but did anyone ever say that you were going to? Are you okay? Can you read English? Don't misunderstand. This is too much. What have I done to deserve this? When I protested to Emma, she rebuffed. Don't you understand your own mistakes? You exposed other people's children to the risk of skin cancer. You were the first to betray us. Emma had always held a grudge against me for organizing a school trip to Miami. Anyway, that's the situation. You're not coming with us. It's time to depart, so could you move? She pushed me aside, closed the bus door right in front of me, and the bus departed. My daughter, who was left behind with me, asked with tears in her eyes, "Mommy, what about Spider-Man? What about Harry Potter? Weren't we all going out together?" She seemed to understand that despite looking forward to the trip, we were not taken along. Seeing her beloved mother treated coldly by other adults must have been too much of a shock for my little girl. "I'm sorry, honey. We can't go with everyone today. We'll definitely go with Daddy next time." My daughter couldn't hold back her tears anymore and started crying. Holding back my own tears, I hailed a taxi and went home. My daughter, traumatized, started to stay indoors. I was so worried about her that my husband and I took turns taking time off work to be with her. 3 days later, I found an envelope in our mailbox. It contained cash and a half-eaten bag of snacks from USH. I didn't need to investigate to know who it was from. Judging from the amount of cash, it must be the travel expense. Pushing the half-eaten snack bag deep into the trash bin so my daughter wouldn't find it, I finally realized my hands were shaking. How far will these people go to torment someone? I can't forgive them for hurting not just me, but also my precious daughter. I decided to stop engaging and avoided checking the WhatsApp group chat at all. Time passed, and the WhatsApp group of former mom friends, which had been inactive, buzzed again after about 5 years. Just like that time, conversations were progressing without me. Scrolling back, it wasn't just me. Other former mom friends hadn't updated this WhatsApp group for a long time either. Apparently, a new group was created without me, and they had been communicating there. Despite that, the only reason they revived this group with me in it is evident. They probably intend to use me. Observing the posts on WhatsApp, before I knew it, lunch at a famous upscale French restaurant was set for next Wednesday. Of course, the arrangements were up to me. Isn't it a place you need to book in advance? I'm looking forward to it. I'll brag about it to my friends. Others kept posting similar comments. I briefly replied, looking forward to it, and closed WhatsApp. On the day of the lunch, I arrived at the restaurant at the agreed time, and the former mom friends were already there. Long time no see, Amelia. Did you make the reservation properly? Wasn't it hard to book? With Emma leading, the familiar former mom friends approached. Their expressions were the same as when they abandoned me and my daughter 5 years ago. They must be trying to deceive me again. Hello. It's been a while. Instead of talking here and causing a disturbance, why don't we go inside? Following Emma, the former mom friends entered the restaurant. Welcome, how many are you? Addressing Emma. Reservation for 6 under the name Amelia. She replied loudly enough for the entire restaurant to hear. You mean Amelia? Please wait a moment. After confirming, the waiter went to the back, and the former mom friends started to giggle. By the way, Amelia, why are you here? Are you meeting someone? You don't think you're having a meal with us, do you? You're not our friend. Emma, still the same as she was 5 years ago. Of course not. I'm here for a different appointment. Hearing this, the former mom friends were silenced. What? An appointment? As Emma said this, a waiter came from the back and said, Miss Amelia, I apologize, but we only have a reservation for 4. That's impossible. I changed it to 6 last week. Emma started to panic. The other former mom friends began to murmur, confused. Miss Amelia, or should I say, Madam CEO. The ones you're waiting for are already here. Spotting me behind the former mom friends, the waiter approached. Thank you for waiting. Can you guide me to my table? As I was about to be guided, Emma grabbed my arm to stop me. Wait. What's going on? Why are you the only one being seated? Shouting at me. I apologize, but could you please lower your voice? You're disturbing other customers. I replied calmly. Emma and the former mom friends stood still, speechless. I made a reservation for 4. That's why we got seated. It's as simple as that. This is a reservation-only restaurant. Emma, you and your group made a reservation too, right? Against my calm statement, Emma's face contorted in anger as she argued. Didn't you reserve for 7 of us? You tricked us. Why should I reserve for you? I never said I'd reserve for everyone. Emma's face turned increasingly red. But you replied in the WhatsApp chat that you were looking forward to it. That was me imagining all of you having a good meal. I was saying I'm looking forward to that. I'm not your friend. I never intended to have lunch with you. Emma was completely at a loss for words. Then, a voice from behind, one of the old mommy friends, chimed in. "You were called CEO. What does that mean?" "I run companies related to travel and dining. This restaurant is one of the ones I manage. Today, I'm having lunch with my dear friends whom I reserved seats for in advance." As I said that, my kind-hearted friends in the back waved at me. I shouldn't keep my friends waiting, excuse me. I left the stunned former mommy friends and sat down with my real friends. I have good friends too. It's as simple as that. The affiliated elementary school our children attend has an escalator system up to high school. Starting from middle school, they can choose their curriculum and change buildings accordingly. My daughter, Margaret, loves reading and studying. Thanks to Emma and the others choosing the general curriculum, they've been separated since middle school. This was a huge relief. In this new environment, I met kind mommy friends and Margaret made good friends too. We've been enjoying peaceful days. That's why I came to have a meal with friends I can comfortably talk to today. During the meal, a waiter whispered in my ear. "Excuse me for interrupting your meal, but the lady you were with earlier is causing a commotion at the reception." I looked over and saw Emma acting childishly, yelling that she wouldn't be satisfied until she ate the course meal here. It seemed the other former mommy friends had left, leaving only Emma. "Please call the police, she's just an old acquaintance, so whatever happens is fine." I was able to watch Emma being taken away by the police. A few months later, after successfully finishing Margaret's university entrance ceremony, she moved to her dormitory. My husband and I enjoyed our long-awaited time alone. Even though my husband and I both run our own businesses, it's rare for our days off to align. Despite the busyness, we live fulfilling days. I was curious as to why Emma suddenly started bothering me again, so I did a little investigating. According to rumors, Emma desperately wanted her daughter to make a debut in the entertainment industry. To prevent injuries and sunburn, she apparently never let her play outside or participate in sports since she was young. As a result, her daughter mostly played indoors and eventually became a netizen, developing a nocturnal lifestyle and often skipping school. When she heard that my daughter got into a prestigious national university, she didn't seem to take it well. I can't believe that someone could be so selfish as a parent to make others uncomfortable because of their own ego. I hope Emma's daughter doesn't succumb to her mother's pressure and finds her own path in life.